Hello there. Please make sure you wrote today's date. Write Chapter 10, Lesson 9, Circumference, page 340. Okay. What is circumference? So circumference is the distance around a circle. So if that was you and you needed to walk around a circle, circumference is how long you would walk. Now, it's really hard to do this because, well, you can't measure that, really. You know, if I take my ruler out, simply put, my ruler is not a circle. And even if my ruler was a circle, then what if I got a circle that wasn't the same size as my ruler? So you can't measure it like that. One thing you could do is I suppose you could take like a string and you could wrap it around and then you could straighten out the string. But that's not good enough for math. We don't like that kind of thing. We like thinking of, how do we explain it with numbers? The way we explain it with numbers is Greek mathematicians in ancient history discovered that if you take the diameter of a circle, remember the diameter is the distance from one end to the other that passes through the center. In other words, it's a chord that passes through the center. The diameter multiplied by pi equals the circumference. Everyone loves pi, so this is going to be a good day. But of course, I'm not talking about that kind of pi. I'm talking about math pi. Math pi is pi. The symbol for math pi is this. So when you see this, you think pi. Don't think pi, think pi. When you see the pi symbol, this is standing for a number that literally goes on forever. And a few of your classmates have already bragged to me this school year about how many digits of pi they know. It's quite impressive. But the fact of the matter is, you could try to study all the digits of pi and you could keep studying forever because it never ends. It's a never-ending number. It's very crazy. Go on Google, type in digits of pi. You're going to just have your mind blown. And every year that different people have these pi memorizing competitions and whatnot. Anyways, pi is basically 3.14. Pi is also known as 22 over 7. So when you're doing this, you are not allowed to use calculator. You have to use one of these two methods. And I'm going to be using this method for every single one because I think that's better. Okay? Actually, I might not do that. Okay, if there's a decimal in the diameter, I will be using 3.14. And if there is not a decimal, I will be using 22 over 7. Both of these can be used for pi to get you a close answer, but it won't be exact, okay? It would only be exact if you did use a calculator and if you did press the pi button, but I'm not letting you do that. And so what does that mean? That means if you do press the pi button, you will get a different answer, and I'll know you cheated and you were not listening to me. But no one's going to do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, number one is actually down here. That was just my example for you. So number one is find the circumference of each circle. Oh, it says use 3.14, so we don't have a choice. Mr. Sudi thought he had a choice. Ha. Okay, here's your circle. You don't have to draw it. Here's your diameter, and it says your diameter is 2 meters. So the formula for circumference of a circle. So C stands for circumference. The formula is pi times diameter. 3.14 times the diameter. 2 meters is the diameter, so we're just going to multiply that by 3.14. So put 2 on the bottom. Don't line it up by decimal. Remember how to multiply by decimals. And then just go ahead and begin. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. And then we have 1, 2 spots to the right of the decimal. So we need 1, 2 spots. Put a decimal there. Your answer is 6.28 or 6 28 of a meter. That is your answer for number one. I miss this, just multiplying. It's a lot, I don't know. I kind of like doing that kind of math better. Okay, your second one is trying to trick you up already. Okay, so in this circle, we see not a diameter, but we see this is 3 meters. This is not the diameter, so do not do 3.14 times 3. You have to do 3.14 times the diameter. What is the diameter? Well, this is a radius. If this is a radius, the diameter would be, if you took this radius and you turned it into a chord by making this straight line go right off to the other side. Now it's a diameter if this radius is 3 meters, how long is this radius? This one's also 3 meters. Because it's the same distance from the center to the circle as it is on this side, center to the circle. So anyways, the diameter here would be 3 meters plus 3 meters, which is going to be, of course, 6 meters. Now you can multiply 3 and 14, 3.14 times 6 meters. Again, 6 times 4 is 28. Excuse me, 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. 1, 2 places. 1, 2 places. Decimal goes there. We have 18 and 84 hundredths of a meter as your answer for this one. 5 says use 22 sevenths, and we follow directions, so we're going to do 22 sevenths. Let me try to get that in the light a little bit. Okay, so 5 gives us a circle like this. Here's our center. Here's a diameter. 16 centimeters. So here we're not going to do 3.14. We're going to do 22 sevenths times 16. This is actually, of course, 16 ones. And now we multiply across, and this one won't be a simple one. There's no cross simplifying here. 7 and 16 cannot cross simplify. So let's take 22 times 16, because you got to multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms. Let's do 22 sixteenths times 16 over here. Okay, so 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Put an X in the ones place, and then cross off the previously borrowed number. And then this is very simple. 1 times 22 will be 22. Add together your two partial products, and that's going to go right there, because that's the numerator, right, of 22 times 16 will go right here. So 2 times nothing is 2, or 2 plus nothing is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 352 was our product there. And then 7 times 1 was 7. Okay, now we don't want to leave it like this. We want to turn this into a smaller number. So we want to turn it into a mixed number, not an improper fraction. So let's take 352 down here and just divide it by 7. 7 goes into 3, 0 times. 7 goes into 35, 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 minus 35 is 0. Bring down the 2. 7 goes into 2, 0 times. So here we have 50. And we can take this remainder and bring it up, and we can give it a denominator of the divisor, the same denominator as we had here. So we ended up with 50 and 2 sevenths of a centimeter as our answer. And let me circle this answer as well. Okay, let's go to number 7. You guys are all, I'm sure, screaming right now that I just did number 8. Sorry I caused you such stress, I'm sure. Why don't we go back and do number 5? Sorry about that, guys. So 5 is an interesting problem. 5 says a circle with a diameter of 150 centimeters. Draw what it says. So it's a circle, here's the center, and then it has a diameter of 150 centimeters. Okay, nothing really to it but to do it. And then you just have to multiply it, so it's 3.14 times 150. So you just have 3 partial products that are going to end up down here. 0 times 4, well, that'll be 0, 0, 0, right? 0, 0, 0. 5 times, and then we do this partial product in the tens place, put an X there. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 1 plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. And then our partial product for the hundreds place, put an X here and here. And then it's 1. So it's just going to be 314. Add them all up. 0, 0, 11. Carry the 1 and 7, and then we have 4. Why don't you add and then count, we have 1, 2 places after the decimal here, so put 1, 2 here, and we got 471 centimeters should be our answer. I'm going to rewrite that without the unnecessary zeros after the decimal. 471 centimeters was the answer that we get. Okay, so just for the for those problems, just draw what it says and then do it. If it tells you what the radius is, like on number 6, if it says the radius is 65 centimeters, draw that. It's 65 millimeters, excuse me. So if that's the radius, you need to know the diameter, and as we saw on a previous problem we did together, guys, number 3, if you know the radius, you need to turn it into a diameter by adding another 65 to it, or doubling what this is, because the other radius would also be 65. So then once you do 65 plus 65, you'll get the diameter. Okay, then you would use 130 millimeters in your actual, multiplication. And just to make a long story short, after you did all that, you should get an answer of 408 and 2 millimeters. Anyways, just I wanted to show you that so you know if it gives you a radius, you always have to double it in order to get the diameter, okay? We'll do one more problem, which will be number 11. 11 is 3. It's a circle with a diameter of 3 1/6 feet. Simple enough. Nothing to it but to do it. So multiply it by pi, which is 22/7 times 3 1/6. What do we have to do to 3 1/6 in order to multiply it? That's right, turn it into a improper fraction. So 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19/6. Okay, so we just got some work to do, really. Why don't we cross simplify a little bit? So 6 and 22, what's the GCF of that? 2. Good. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 22 divided by 2 is 11. And then go ahead and multiply these, okay? So 11 times 19, put 11 on the bottom, because 11 is very easy to work with, because 1 times 19 is 19, and then 1 times 19 is going to be 19. Once you put an X there. Now add them up, so 9 plus nothing is 9, 1 plus 9 is 10, carry the 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So you get 209. That is your numerator. So look, it's already in the right spot. 11 times 19 is 209. And then 7 times 3 is 21. So that's the improper fraction you get. You need to turn that into a mixed number. So how many times does 21 fit into 2? 0 times. How many times does 21 fit into 20? That would be 0 times. And how many times does 21 fit into 209? So you have to make a guess. I'm going to guess, well, I know 21 times 10 would be 210, so I'm going to guess 9. 9 times. Okay, so then 9 times 1 would be 9, and then 9 times 2 would be 18. And that would be 189. That's as close as I can get, so I'm going to put 9 here. I already know it's as close as I can get because 21 times 10 would be 210. That would be too much. Okay, 21 times 9 was 189. 9 times minus 9 is 0. 0 minus 8 you can't do, so you regroup. 2 becomes 1. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 8 is 2, and then 1 minus 1 is nothing. So that's 20. Okay, so that would be 9 and 20, 21sts. Feet. That's the circumference around that circle. That's all there is to it. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.